Yo.
Greetings.
Hello.
Hello. Y'all is crazy.
You get mad no matter what I say, so I just gotta go with hello.
I brought salutations. Now you want to say it.
Go ahead and start with your,
I didn't say it.
with your 1 through 10, bro.
1 through 10. Shoot, bro. I'm gonna have to say, I'm gonna say 8.
Hey.
8, pretty good. First week of school was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? I had some good professors, great conversations with them. Just getting back into
Academic
the
weapon.
things. Yeah, getting back into the swing of things
That's in the what?
for sure. So I'll say
8 out of 10. All right.
the piece is there.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Hey, man. All right. Let's see. Me, I'm about well, I'm a 9, bro. You know, I've been at a 4.5 in the past couple of episodes, bro. Man, I got to double that, bro. Man, just think spending time in the Word, bro, and also just being around some good community has uplifted my spirits, man. So, man, I'm a 9, bro. The only reason why I'm not a 10, bro, is because school's tomorrow, bro. If it wasn't, oh man, bro, I'd be off a 10.
You ain't wrong.
So,
But you didn't explain the reason that you're not at 10. You said 8. I'm curious.
I got practice at 5:30 a.m. tomorrow.
oh, AM, I thought you meant PM.
No.
He in the AM
I
with
knew he meant AM.
Before the sun come up, man.
Crack it on.
No, for real, bro. He's there before the rooster crow.
Shout out to that boy Peter.
That's crazy. All right, boss man, how about you?
Oh, man. So 10 out of 10, but here's why. So I would say, because we get school at the same time, I'm saying 10 out of 10 because I'm living in right now in today. I can go a whole tangent of how I always was mad at the coming times, but no, I'm living in today. So for today, I'm a 10 out of 10. But don't ask me tomorrow when school starts. But today, 10 out of 10.
We love to hear it, bro. We got an 8, a 9, and a 10, man.
9 out of 10.
We balling, yo.
No,
It's
facts.
about to be a great pod, man. So I've just been thinking, man, this past week, just you know, we are in different, areas in our life, going through different things individually. So the topic that like we decided on this week was like unity, and so like I want to ask you first, unity in your life and all of your years of living, what has like that looked like for you, and what could you give to the audience for that?
Man, I want to start off with just a quote. It says like, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think about unity, like unity is just huge to have people that also go through the same afflictions that you do. And you can share, you can have conversations with that. People that share the same things that you go through is huge to me. But it's like, hey, like if I fall, like you're there to pick me up. If he falls, I'm there to pick him up. You know what I'm saying? So I just love the fact that unity is just like, you don't have to be so just focused on yourself and focus on, oh, me. But it's more like let me focus on this community and the community that God has placed around me, you know what I'm saying? And so community like is huge, especially when you're going through like a spiritual funk, like, dude, like community and that unity, when you can lean on them to lift you up, it's huge. And it goes the same way for other people too. And so
I agree with that. I mean, community goes like a long way in life. And I don't think anybody in this world is meant to be alone. I think we all need community around us. And you see that like in unfortunate circumstances about how people lash out when they don't have a solid community around them. And that's kind of like the approach that I wanted to take because you did bring up a good point. Like you can go further when you are together.
Yeah.
I think I want to encourage everybody, on the opposite side of the screen. It's like, yo, like we need community in our lives, right? Not just for ourselves, but like for other people as well, right? Like together we can accomplish more things than if we were, by ourselves, right? If it was just us individually, right? Any good team has to have everybody on the same page to accomplish one goal. And if we all want to grow in some way, shape, or form, then we all have to be united together. And so like for you, when you think of community in your life, what are some of the areas that community has grown and unity has shown itself in those areas?
Well, first of all, I was going to say, like, I didn't find unity until I found y'all, you know what I'm saying? So I lived the first, 20 years, like, just me. Even I mean, it's different being a kid, but as my teenage years came, we were so different. There wasn't that unity aspect. Something I think of is a puzzle, you know what I'm saying? Because a puzzle has pieces to it. And a puzzle piece by itself really isn't worth that much, but as you put the puzzle together, now it's this beautiful thing, you know what I'm saying? And so, and I can speak about a different time where each puzzle piece has its own purpose inside the puzzle. But I think of how we win together. I think of teams, you know what I'm saying? I'm a big sports guy, you know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of teams, you know what I'm saying? And teams have the same goal in mind, and that's part of unity, you know what I'm saying? So as I think of this thing, again, it's just like team togetherness. I always feel like people at the top are collaborating. Like all the successful people, tell me why Bill Gates hangs out with Buffett, you know what I'm saying? Because they're at the top. Like, but people at the bottom are all separate, trying to do their own thing. People at the top are collaborating. Yeah. People at the bottom are the ones being separate.
That's good. That's good. I think about like the ideas that you can bring to the table with the team, with you. Like I think all of us on our own, like we're not enough. Like, we'll never be enough just by ourselves, and that's why we need other people to help us form these ideas, right? If you think about a situation where you want to grow a company, right? And there's a CEO, there's a leader. Like the CEO realizes that he cannot do anything by himself. Right?
Yeah.
He needs the chairman, he needs the CFO, the CSO, all these different roles where people can specialize in, and that they all can form together to unite for one purpose, which is to grow, it's to expand. In the same way, in our lives, we should be identifying a common goal and then uniting together so that we can all accomplish this goal. Because if we are apart, then guess what happens? We end up struggling, right? And many times we find ourselves in situations where we're struggling and we're all alone, and we feel like we have to do it alone. But usually in those situations, that does us no justice. It does us no justice to continue to struggle along. If I know that you're struggling with the same thing, if I know that you're struggling with the same thing, like, yo, if we're all drowning, man, if we come swim together, maybe we can all stay alive and have another breath. But if we are continuing to drown by ourselves, then we're all gonna have the ultimate feat. Right? So I think about it's important to identify like the goal and then search and seek for that community, because ultimately through the community, you can accomplish that goal and then you'll be better off than if you were alone.
Yeah, that's real. Something I love that each of y'all said is, you know, Slater talked about the one goal and then you talked about different ideas. It kind of reminds me, you know, of in the word, you know, where we're called as one body, you know, when you think of the body, like it's got different parts, it's different parts to it. Like you got the hand, like you got the foot, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But it's like when we come together, we're all trying to reach the same goal, which is being with Christ at the end of the day, you know? And so it's kind of like, dang, like, hey, we got to collaborate. Like you said, we got to collaborate. People at the top collaborating, they talking, they conspiring with each other, you know what I'm saying? 5. But yeah,
Bro, 5.
It's 5 his own word?
5 himself.
Wow.
Let someone else 5 you.
you was taking too long. But like, yeah.
Wasn't gonna do it.
But they all, you know, they all conspire. So it's just like, hey, I got to use my ideas, our ideas, you know what I'm saying, to reach the same goal at the end of the day. And you think about this pod, like you got different ideas, you got different ideas, I got different ideas, but it's like we all got the same goal, which is to reach other people, to eventually for them to see Christ in us, you know what I'm saying? So
in my life, I realized at my lowest points, it was because I was alone. It was because I wasn't reaching out. I didn't search and seek for the help with the unity that I could have 100%. If I had just that went out and find it for myself.
100.
Most of the times it was just like, oh, man, like, woe is me, right? This is the position I'm in. What am I gonna do, right? Instead of asking, hey guys, man, I'm struggling with this, bro. Yeah. What are we gonna do? Because now we can bring those ideas to the table. Hey, Jared, you struggling with this? How about you consider trying this? Or perhaps you can try this thing over here. Maybe that'll help. And that's the beauty of bringing more people to the table. Is like, you're giving me ideas, you're giving me ideas, and now I can add my ideas and we can come up with a new plan to help me get out of the funk that I'm in. And like you said, like the goal for the pod is to aim how we can help encourage people with our lifestyles, right? That may be struggling with things that we may be struggling with. Yeah. And now when they see like, oh man, I'm not alone, man, I have encouragement. Now I can get out of the situation that I'm in. And that's the goal. Like, we are better together. The body is like, it has so many different uses, right? You may be a hand, I might be an ear, you might be an eye. We all need those things to function in the body, right? There's no use for a hand to be everywhere in the body. I can't have hands right here, hands right here, hands on my kneecaps. It's like, I won't be able to do anything. Mm-hmm. But when I have a hand and I have coupled that with an eye and an ear, it's like, now, guess what I can do? I can touch, I can hear, and I can see. Yeah. Same way for community with us. It's like, when I have a guy who can do this or a guy who can do that, now I have 3 people that we are now a triangle team and can accomplish anything that's set before us. It's true unity.
Something that I'm huge on is each of us isn't as smart as all of us. You know what I'm saying? You're smart, I'm smart, but we're smarter together. You know what I'm saying? But I think about companies, again, the analogy of a puzzle, but for instance, a business, it's got to have a CFO, it's got to have all these things, but a lot of people don't understand. Imagine if your favorite business, your favorite company, Target or something, didn't have a janitor. Eventually, that thing ain't gonna be pretty, you know what I'm saying? But so that being said, I'm trying to say every part matters, and people who may not be on a platform, on the stage, in the spotlight, the company, the business, friend groups all need those background people. We talk about janitors, we talk about, again, all types of people inside there. It's in unity. I'm someone where I truly think us humans are made to have connections with other people. I think that's just how God chose to make us, because he wanted to show us that we need each other. We aren't made to be alone. Singles, okay, but people who are single still have community. They still have a best friend, you know what I'm saying? As you said, bro, you hit the spot. The saddest time that I ever had was fall of 2021, but at that time, everybody that was my community was gone, you know what I'm saying? And so it's as I was alone, I started to struggle. That doesn't always mean that if you have people, you're going to succeed, but they're going to at least help your struggle at the least, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Something I like that what you said too is just like the way God designed it. And you think about it, is God designed us to be relational. You even think about it with him. We're supposed to have our own relationship with him. And then you even think about it in Genesis. It's just like, it's not good for man to be alone. So that's already showing us from the beginning of time that God called us to be relational. And you think about it too, it's just like, being alone is prideful in a sense, especially when I have community in the background. Like, you think about it, it's like staying away from community, knowing that you have it is a pride issue, which we talked about last week. But it's kind of understanding like, I have this community, why not utilize these tools? And like, especially it's beauty in being different. It's beauty than having different gifts than somebody else. But like so many people are caught up in, comparison. We talk about it. Comparison is the thief of joy. We always like, hey, I want his gift. I want his gift. I want his gift. But it's like, run the race that God has marked out for you. Use the gift that God has given you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, when you can use that gift effectively, you can come back to one body and the body will be crazy, dude.
I love what you mentioned. He brought up pride.
Oh, yeah.
That is a huge point when talking about community, because sometimes when we do fall, we have so much pride that we aren't willing to seek out help, right? And so now we begin to try and pull our own weight on our own, and we don't get anywhere, right? Yeah. But I think of that picture, an illustration of a yoke. A yoke has two things so that ox can pull all the weight. So when I think about community, right, we should be humble, right? Because now if I have fallen, now I can reach out to you and you can help me pull this weight together, and we can go further than if it was just me pulling and dragging this thing on my back. And so I think like it's a load that's lifted off of us when we humble ourselves and then we reach out to people, right? And we understand, hey man, like, hey, I've been struggling with this, right? And I need help with this. Or if you just want to have a conversation with somebody that isn't about struggles and you're just doing life together, right? You're enjoying each other's company. Now it's like, man, through this conversation, we're both getting spirit fed from this conversation. Right. We're encouraged. We're leaving the conversation. Now it's like, man, I feel like I can attack the entire world now. Mm-hmm. That happens because of unity. Right. But we have to humble ourselves to realize like this world isn't just about me and what I want to do, right? It's about a bigger goal, so much bigger. And once we all buy into that, now we can strip that pride and pull more weight than if it was just me trying to pull it on my own. Because how many times, like the analogy last week with the sprained ankle, right? How many times do we try and pull things on dead weight, right? And now we can't do anything at all. But when I have somebody who wants to help me hold my arms up like the staff with Moses and Aaron, right? Now I can do so much more with that when I have people alongside me doing things together. But if I was just alone, are we losing the battle?
Exactly.
We losing the race. We aren't doing anything. If I'm just by myself, you can't help me utilize my gifts to the best of my capabilities, right? Now, that is a feat in itself. But I feel like if we actually focused on establishing good community, establishing unity, more benefits will come from that than you trying to be on your own.
Yeah.
I love how y'all brought up pride, which I'm so huge on, but pride turns the word unity into just you.
Bars.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to drop your pride. So when pride pride causes so many problems. But again, in this case, our pride, again, it turns the unity part into just you because you're not wanting to share with those amongst you. I think of all the problems or struggles, that I've had the past 2 years. I've shared, I think, every single one with each of you in a different way, depending on which thing it is. But each of you have helped me in the same way I've helped you. But if I kept it in because I thought, no, I'm fine. Bro, pause, my bad. What he said this past week of it's okay to not be okay, bro, that was fire. That was fire. It's okay to not be okay. But if you're not okay, let someone know.
Exactly.
Tell someone so that they can help you. Like he said, we are built for relationships.
Yeah, exactly.
And so a lot of us are holding them back. I held them back for years at a time. Once I was honest and vulnerable, I got relationships. Now I'm doing even better than I was before because I was able to drop my pride, say, hey, I need help. Can somebody help me?
Exactly.
I can't do this alone. I need friends. I need God.
Yeah.
That got me to the next stage, to the next level. But if I wanted to keep the pride, there would be no unity. It'd be just you, just me. You know what I'm saying?
That boy talk.
I like these. I need friends. I need God. That's so real, bro. But like you think about it, so we talk about pride, and you know this is something that really just works my nerves, bro. Especially being in the body of Christ.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm in a season of isolation, bro. You have to. Can we talk about it?
You can talk about it, bro.
Listen,
Also, listen, another episode on it.
for sure. So like a lot of people say, I'm in a season of isolation. I'm in a season of isolation. God calls you to be relational. God does not call you to be isolated. First of all, he doesn't want you to be isolated. He wants you to be separated. And like we understand the words, like the two words set apart is the same thing as holy. Holy means to be set apart. So God is like, I got to take you from this person, this place, or these things, or this group of people to the next person, the next place, or the next group of people. You know what I'm saying? And what you're caught up in is the transition. That's why it feels like, oh, I'm in a season of isolation. Like, bro, that's from the enemy, dude. Like, he wants you to be sitting in that dark room by yourself, going through the struggles that you have, just like, oh, well, nobody can help me. But it's like, dude, God doesn't want you to be like that. It says cast your cares because he cares for you. And so it's just like, dude, God wants you to be relational with other people. What do I look like over here trying to run this pod by myself? It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen because, hey, you on the visuals, I'm on the lights, you on the mics. It's just like, dude, I can't do this all by myself. But it's just like understanding that, hey, I can't do it by myself. And I'm telling y'all, and y'all be able to like, hey, bro, I got you. And y'all say, hey, we need the lights. Yo, I got you. You know what I'm saying? We all bring something different to the table, which is, and then it all conspires to the main goal at the end of the day, bro.
Because we got the same goal.
Exactly. But I'm sick and tired of the season of isolation. Like, that has to stop.
Well, you did a whole episode on that.
And I want to focus on that word isolation because, like, to the people who aren't in faith, right, and they are living a lifestyle where it's me, myself, and I. Like, I have compassion for them because I feel like they don't understand the benefits of having community in their lives.
Yeah.
And I would say to you, like, community has changed my life. Community, having 100%. People in my life has actually developed me, grown my character by seeing how other people have lived their lives and like, oh, I want to be around that. Oh, like I want to develop a character that's similar to that, right? They're chasing lifestyles that are pursuing God. I'm like, I'm encouraged by being around them. But I see a lot of times in culture today, it's like, oh, it's just me, myself, and I. Or it's all about me. And I feel bad because like, man, like you're missing out on so much opportunity to grow as a person individually by being by yourself. You know what I mean? I think it's hard because I feel like community like opens doors. I met some of my best friends through community. If I hadn't gone to these places where they had like functions with you guys when me there, this pod would not be happening right now. It just happened at a matter of time where God opened a door where there was community there who was welcoming and accepting that invited me in, and through that, I met my guys, right? And so for you on the other side, if you think it's okay to be isolated, to be alone, I would challenge you to say like, yo, there's so much more than just being by yourself in this world. Because think about it. We always talk about this at the top, you know what I mean? Like the view is always better when you share with people.
Yep.
The view is always better when you share with people. But if I'm going to the Eiffel Tower by myself, what am I gonna do? Just take a picture? Oh man, I was there. Yeah. But now like I can recall a memory if I go with my guys. Like, man, y'all remember we went to the Eiffel Tower? Y'all remember we got stuck in the traffic all the way up there, bro?
Yeah.
The experiences are always better when you share it with people, bro. And that's why I think we need community, because not only does it help when we are in our sorrows or when we are in unfortunate circumstances, but to enjoy the beautiful experiences. Like some of the times of our lives, having it together has made it like 10 times better being with you guys or other people that I'm close with.
Bro, that's so good. And because you think about that too, it's just like going through those experiences together, like it even makes the good experiences great and it makes the bad experiences good. Bro, like,
That's a bar.
like, dude, we literally be like, bro, it's been some times when we've been to some places and we be like, yo, bro, why did we come here? But it's the fact that we went together and we was like, we just enjoy each other's company.
Exactly.
But it's like, dude, if you're just alone, like, dude, and you go to a place, you're just gonna be like, bro, like, why am I here? Why am I here? But it's like, dude, I got people that I can chop it up with that can share the same feelings that I'm feeling. It's just like, hey, bro, we shouldn't be here. But it's like, hey, you remember that time we were there?
Yes.
Like, but it's so much better when you hanging out with people that's got that community, bro. When you're just like, dang, I was really with them. They understand the same things I'm going through.
Yes.
We talking about the same stuff. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So
Bro, I love how he said it turns bad situations into good and good situations into great.
perspective.
The glass either half full or half empty.
Yeah.
No, someone I was gonna share that. I think it's just me. He always says we're being raw and uncut, bro. There was a time where like I was upset because I didn't have y'all talent. So I'm like, man, I'm thinking it's a comparison game. They're better than me because they have this talent and that talent. You know what I'm saying? Until I learned, hey, I've got separate talents that they don't have. You know what I'm saying? As he said, it's all of our talents that help us be one. But I think of a puzzle, you know what I'm saying? It's got to have corner pieces. It's got to have a center piece. Some pieces are darker, some pieces are lighter. But it's like it needs every piece because for a puzzle, imagine if you have even a 10-piece puzzle. If one piece is missing, nobody wants the puzzle. You know what I'm saying? As he said, our bodies, how God made them. We got feet, we got arms, we got all these things. It would look bad if we had all hands. It'd be bad if we had all feet. But we need all these different things to be the body. So I'm just huge on that.
And that's a good point. And you also talked about like in those situations, like learning, right? And I want to focus on that because like you can actually learn more with community than just by yourself. I've learned not only from like my experiences and sharing it with you guys, but from your experiences, you guys sharing it with me. If I was just going through life all by myself, I would only be limited to the experiences that I've had, and that will compromise any growth that I could have because I'm just focused on what I'd experienced in my life. But now it's like, oh, if I'm going down a path, right, and the path's probably not the best path, but you've been down that path before, you can teach me, you can tell me based off of your experience, hey, like, don't go down that path.
Each one teach one.
Because of that, the value of community is shown there because now we realize, oh man, like you have saved me from a path that I was gonna walk down had you not told me about that. So I think there's value in learning the experiences. You talk about the time where we went to places where we know we shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
We found out together, like, hey, we don't gotta cut back here no more, bro.
Right.
But it was like we endured that process together. We looked at it and was like, okay, like, all right, now, no, for next time, I can't be over here. But if I was just by myself, I don't have the conviction from you or you to be like, maybe I shouldn't come back. Because maybe there's something that's calling my name that I don't want to acknowledge. And now I come back just to tiptoe around to see if it's really good or not.
Yeah.
But you being there, we can help learn together. And there's conviction together like, hey, nah, bro, like you got to get out of here.
Yeah. That's so good, bro. I like you talk about the learning and just like think about like the different perspectives too. You think about it in the Gospels, same story, different perspective. Matthew, Mark, Luke, James. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John.
I was going to say,
Matthew, my bad. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John.
in the comments.
Wow, bro.
My bad. James, the brother of Jesus. But anyways, it's the same story, different perspective. So say we went to the place that we know we shouldn't have been to, right? I may view it one way. You may view it in another way. You may view it in a different way. He's like, hey, bro, did you see that? Nah, I ain't see that. Now I'm thinking about it. I did see that. You know, and it points out other things, you know, in our lives that we may not see. And it's that conviction and it's that vulnerability. Like you talk about, hey, if I'm struggling, he like, hey, you need to whip up into shape, man. You need to be better. But it's just like understanding, like, hey, I might have been too blinded by my pride that I couldn't see it at all, bro.
Yo, I want to share is a big part of unity for not just us, but people on the other side is, bro, I lost it. It's back.
Cook them in the comments.
Cut that out, bro.
We've been wrong. But you gotta have unity with people who have the same goal.
Mm.
Because a lot of people think, oh, I'm lonely, I don't got unity. Let me hang out with this, and this person. They don't got your best intentions. They don't have the same goal. If you're on a basketball team and not everybody's goal is to win, it's going to be hectic. You're dang near not even a team at that point. So you got to find your unity in people who have the same goal as you. What a bar, yo. 100%. Hey.
But damn,
It took too long.
man, because that just brings up and listen, now I gotta get on the cut, bro. So in my lifestyle before Christ, I was chasing things. I was looking for community in all of the wrong environments. Now, did I know that then? No, but I know that now based off blind experiences. And do I say, like, having the wrong community impairs your vision? It's like a guy who's walking with goggles after he gets pulled over from being intoxicated, right? He can't see, he's just wobbling around on his own ill will.
Yeah.
I think for us, like, we need to be looking for community in the right places, because if we're not, we're walking as if we're a drunk person who has no control over himself. And so for me in these experiences, like, I realized I thought my friends were the friends that I was hanging out with, smoking weed with, drinking with, talking about all these girls with.
Yeah.
And then the moment I stopped doing those things, I stopped getting invited to hang out. And I'm like, oh man, I thought we was family, bro. I thought we was all those things. And I realized, I was like, oh man, it was just because of the things that we were doing. It wasn't real community. Like, real community is unity with you and I. But that thing was just me in a bag of weed, or me in a bag of alcohol in that situation. But community is like, man, I'm gonna be with you, you and I, through it all, no matter what circumstance, through highs, through lows, the mountaintops, through the valleys, whatever it looks like, I'm gonna be with you through it all. But through those situations, I realized, I was like, man, like, we were just winning because of what we all shared in common. And if the common goal is impaired vision, guess what you guys gonna be? A bunch of drunkards walking around with impaired vision.
Facts. Bro, that's so real.
Put that on the Patreon.
Man, facts.
You and I. It's on the Patreon.
Hey, think about that too. We talk about that BC life, we raw and uncut, bro. It's like the only time I was cool with some people in that BC life was only to share the dopamine rush. That's the only thing that we were chasing together. But when that was done away with, the community was done away with.
Yeah.
But it was like, hey, we all chasing this dopamine rush. That's when we all get together. But then after that, you can't, bro, I couldn't even be vulnerable with these people. Cause like, bro, if I'm talking to them while we chasing the dopamine rush, the only time we getting together, they gonna be, bro, get out of here with all that. Get out of here with all that. But the people, once you have the right community and you come to them with your vulnerability and you tell them your struggles, they like, hey, bro, you know, instead of get out of here with all that, they're like, yo, come here, like, let's talk, let's chop it up. And that's the community you want around you. But like, it also takes discipline to be in the right community. Yeah. Not only to be in the right community, but also to stay in the right community too. Because to stay in the right community, you have to continue to be vulnerable every single time. Every time we talk, we're vulnerable.
Week, bro.
Every week. Single time. Like, we talk after the pod, we like, yo, bro, dang, hey, I'm going through it. That's on the Patreon. And we say every reason why. And then the thing about it too is what I love about us is just like, even when somebody doesn't want to share, we like, yo, bro, why you like that? Yeah. Why you feeling like that? Why? Just like we do it in the front. Like, hey, why you 8 out of 10?
Yeah.
Why you a 4.5 out of 10? It's the same thing asking those questions, but this is the good community that wants to push me to be that 10 out of 10, to be disciplined and to be in that right community at the end of the day, bro.
No, hey, I just want to say I'm sorry because I said that to have unity, it's got to have the same goal. That's true, but you got to have a goal that is going to help you and them. It can't just be, because y'all spoke about how you were in unity, but you were in unity for a dopamine rush.
Yeah.
Unity doing some stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's unity, but that's the wrong kind of
Exactly.
unity. So I got to trip it up. I got to change it. Be in a unity that is going to help you and them, you know what I'm saying? Because how was the dopamine rush helping you and them? Long term, it really wasn't. Maybe short term. How was you hanging out with those people helping you and them? Again, short term, it was fun, but long term, look at the consequences.
That's so good too. And I think the question that we should always ask about, like, in our communities or in our just life in general or anything we do, is the question, is it edifying?
Oh,
and so some people may not know what edifying means. Edifying means essentially, is it beneficial? Does this make me better or does this make the other person better as far as community? You know? And so we think about it like we can do anything we want to. Anything we want to. Anything's our lawful because we got the free will.
Yeah.
But everything is not edifying. Everything is not beneficial. So are the community that we're in, is it really edifying? Does this really make me a better person, or are they just dragging me down to be down? Because, a lot of people just are all the way going down. They're just trying to find other people to bring down with them. People got the crab mentality. But it's like, are you going to get caught up in the crab mentality too?
I think that's good. And I want to touch on essentially like learning how to identify good community like versus bad community, because I think that's vital for every person watching this, because there are instances where you can be in bad community and not know it because you're blind to the red flags.
Yeah.
And we need to identify those things because sometimes we're in community because of what it does for us, right? And it makes me feel good. Now I don't have any accountability. No one's checking me. No one's asking me, hey, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you a 10 out of 10? Why aren't you feeling like this, right? Usually in those positions, I'll be around people that are a bunch of cheerleaders telling me what I want to hear, right? But I need to be in situations where I identify like, oh man, like this community is going to help me grow better as a person. And most of the times where I've grown in community is when I realized that I was in the wrong. I had to deny myself and realize like, my way isn't always the best way. Like I need to flip the perspective. It takes me hearing your perspective, their perspective to realize that, hey, like I'm wrong on this. Like, and I can submit that. But then it's that pride again. Yeah, that pride comes back. It's like, let me go back to the community that'll tell me what I want to hear. Let me go back to the community that'll help me feel good in ways that I want to feel good, instead of telling me what it's actually going to be more beneficial for me in the long run.
Yeah.
So I think it's key for us to identify that wherever you are in your life, like if you're in a person that is just looking for friends or looking for a community, like be able to tell if this is going to actually grow you or it's going to hinder you.
We have to stop hanging out with cheerleaders, start hanging out with coaches.
Exactly.
What do coaches do? They gonna make you better. Cheerleaders, if you get a touchdown, they cheering. If you throw an interception, they cheering. How are they helping you? Coaches, they're on your heads, not in a bad way, because they're trying to make you into a better version of you.
Exactly. And this is like, it's a lot of people that's caught up in community that are hanging out with strictly yes men.
Cheerleaders.
Exactly. So they're literally just like, anything they can do flies every single time. They could be doing the most foul thing. Yo, bro, you good. Like, no, you're not okay. And you talk about it, it's like the growth, right? You can't grow being comfortable. Like it takes being uncomfortable. That's why it's called growing pains. Growing pains. 5. It's growing pains. It's not growing.
Fire himself again.
No,
I did it. Give it the comments.
Everybody get cooked. But it's
Boy RD.
But it cook up again.
Wow, bro.
Guy Fieri. I'm so saying all the stuff I know.
But it's like, bro, you gotta grow. It's called growing pains. It's not about growing being comfortable. Because if you grow being comfortable, first of all, it's not existent. But it's not existent. But like, if you just get caught up in comfortability, you will never grow. You will stay in the same place. And then what makes it even worse is that you hanging around with people that's telling you that place is good, but you want to grow. It contradicts itself. It contradicts.
I'd love to hit on this point. Essentially, like we've talked about the benefits of having community, what it can do for us, and we've talked about the disadvantages of a lack of community and what that does to us.
Yeah.
But for the person who's alone, who is isolated, how do they find good community? What advice would you guys give to somebody who's behind the screen, who is alone, who's in a position where they don't want to be in a me, myself, or not? They want people that help them grow in positions. They want to find out how I can grow as a person overall, collectively, collaborating as a team. What advice would either one of you guys give to somebody who's searching for a community and doesn't know how to find or identify what a good community looks like?
For me personally, how it worked for me is 3 words: ask, seek, knock. That's how it worked for me. First of all, when you start off with asking, it's prayer. It's praying for these friends. That's how God brought you all along. And it's probably the same thing for you guys. So I prayed for these. I prayed for my friends. I'm like, like God, like, hey, I want some friends around me that's gonna push me to be a better follower of you. You know what I'm saying? But like seeking that, right? It's like if we want friends from God, we have to look at who God is. First of all, look at His character. So it's like I have to seek for people who bear the fruits, who bear the good fruit of who Christ is, the fruits of the Spirit. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, okay. And then when these people come in your life, they're knocking, right? You got to be able to answer that door. Do not let that pride keep that door locked. Do not let that pride get in between you and these people. Like, no matter how you're feeling, yeah, bro, like, you know, I'm alone, me, myself, and I, like, I'm just better. I don't feel like worrying about people. But dude, that's prideful, especially after you prayed for these friends and you want to be better. Don't get in the way of yourself. Don't get in the way of God, bro. So that's how it worked for me.
That's good.
There are two kinds of people. There are people that are following God, people who aren't. Now, we are people that are following God, so the ways to that are different. So for us, for people that are following God, I would say, of course, check out a church. If you're on a college campus, try out college. There's multiple organizations, campus ministries, you know what I'm saying? Even if you're an older adult, again, look at churches, all different places where those kind of people are at.
Yeah.
If you're someone who's not following Christ, that's okay. Try and find, I mean, I don't know where those kind of people find good people, because I was going to say, what, a bar or something, you know what I'm saying? But hey, it's just tough for y'all.
Cooking with comments.
It's just slow for y'all.
No. But you can find anywhere. But I think a key part to it is dropping your pride and being vulnerable. Because that's how bonds are made. You listen, my cousin has just went to college. She was like, "What is my what advice do I have for her?" I said, "I got one thing: be vulnerable. Be vulnerable." Because she was scared that she wasn't going to make any friends. She's an extrovert, a wonderful person. She was scared that she wasn't going to make friends. I said, if you want to make friends, be vulnerable, because they'll be vulnerable back and you'll get that bond going. This would have never happened if someone wasn't vulnerable, someone was vulnerable back, and we got a bond happening. You know what I'm saying?
What did you say?
Yeah, from my perspective, I want to touch on that. Like, you talk about being vulnerable, but I think there's a point to where you have to approach to getting vulnerable in the first place.
For sure.
And that is, you have to start. You have to seek. You have to put yourself out there. I talked to a bunch of people who graduated from college, or people who are in college, and they talk about college as one of the most miserable times that they've had because all they did was schoolwork. And they realize, like, man, like, I wish I didn't go because of the experience that I had. But if you just put yourself out there, if you got around people, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like church stuff. Like, if you aren't following God, right? Maybe you go out and find things that you enjoy to do that people are doing on campus, right? I taught a couple people who aren't believers, but they love esports. Well, guess what you should do? Go find people who like esports as well, right? Go and approach that situation, because I think naturally the vulnerability comes if you expose yourself to people who you can be vulnerable with. Yeah. But if I'm always camped up inside my room, how will I ever find community? Because I tell you this, community is not what you see on social media. That will never be community. No. You'll never see friends from social media. You'll never see that. You'll never see good, genuine relationships on social media. But when you actually look and go out in the world, apply yourself to go find and be exposed to different opportunities, then you can find some community, right? From there, now you go in and assess, is this good community? Is this bad community? But you have to put yourself out there. You have to start. You have to go and seek out opportunities to expose yourself to community. Otherwise, you'll just be in a room creating miserable experiences where you may talk about 20 years later, like, yeah, I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. You have to begin now. You have to start now. If you're looking for a community right now and you don't know what to do, put yourself out there. Identify what are some things that you like to do and go and hunt for people that do those same things. I guarantee you, you're going to find people who like those things. Yeah. You have to put yourself out there, though.
Exactly. And what I love you said, too, is that it's not on social media. Because you think about it, social media is just everybody just trying to outshine everybody. It's just everybody at highlights. And you think about it, you see friend groups on social media. It's always like, yo, I'm trying to be the boss. I'm trying to be the boss. I'm trying to be the boss. Hang with people to where everybody's the employee. Hang with people where everybody's the employee.
Catch y'all next week. That's on Patreon.
Stop hanging with people who want to be the boss so bad. That's where the pride stems from. You know what I'm saying? Hang with people that are humble. That's what it starts off with, too. It's like, you talk about people that's interested in esports. It's about, hey, bro, I like esports, too. It's the same goal, but it's also be like, hey, bro, I'm humble. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm humble. I'm not trying to be coming into your domain like, yo, bro, hey, I'm trying to be this. I'm trying to be that. Like, no. Hang out with employees. Hang out with the employees where everybody is the employee. Everybody's on the same level. Matter of fact, there shouldn't be any levels to it. Hang with people that where it's only one level. And the only person that is higher up than us is God, bro. At the end of the day.
Hey, that's a bar, bro.
Appreciate y'all.
I think they got fed with that. Cause we got fed, bro. We, bro. We eat that
bro,
boy Thanksgiving.
And dessert.
No, for sure.
Boy, we
Hey, we-
how much you charging, bro? You selling plates, bro?
$4.99.
Nah, bro. The way we was talking, I was just thinking about flashbacks we been to some place like, hey, bro, we should have been here, dog.
But we ate good. Though.
Yo,
Hey man, hey look, we out here, bro.
we out, y'all.
Dude,
Peace.
crazy.